Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Christy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
Do you want me to share the presentation or you got it?
Yeah, I can share.
Okay.
I've also got some aerials if we need. So I'm happy to drive if you don't mind doing the
Oh,
recording.
that's perfect. Yeah, you know what? I was just gonna be here to take the wheel if you need it.
All right.
Okay, so before anyone else joins our room, I guess, is there anything else we need to know about it, or just kind of just going over the presentation? So if someone does join the room, I'll just introduce myself and just let them know that you're in room J for Louetta Road. And if, is this the right room? If you want to make comments, please state your name, write your name in the chat, write your comment in the chat, and then Andrew will answer them.
Yeah, and I think this one should be pretty straightforward. So I'm thinking more just kind of conversational here. I'll do a quick run through and then whatever questions anybody has as they come and go.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Hopefully we get somebody, right?
I think it might be kind of quiet for us tonight. Oh no, Lloyd's here.
Yeah. Oh no,
Smith.
Lloyd's here. I've heard that before.
We went, oh yay, Lloyd's here.
How are you, Commissioner Smith? Good to see you.
I am well.
I was just saying, I think this one might be kind of quiet, and I'm thinking relatively uncontroversial, hopefully.
I think that's probably the case. I don't see a gang with pitchforks anyway. There may be some discussion before it's over, but it is pretty, as these go, this one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I'm in search of more excitement. I'm going to switch over to one of the others.
Okay, do you need me to post the links here for you, or can you go back?
No, I still got them here in the chat. I'll just hop around a bit.
Okay, perfect. Have a nice night.
All right.
We'll see you later.
Quiet hour and a half in this chat room.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, how are you? Hello. We can't see all of your phone numbers, so if you can just say your name and then we can get started.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can.
Hello, my name is Dan Groves. I'm with Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Dan.
Doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well. So, I guess I'll jump into it really quickly. My name's Andrew Lang. I'm a senior planner with BGE. We're the planner and civil engineer for a project called Dunham Point, which you may or may not be familiar with. So we have requested to do a deletion of a segment of Louetta Road south of 290. Currently, the designation for this segment is a major thoroughfare and also a major collector. And the reason that we are deleting this segment is because due to the 290 improvements and the Union Pacific Railroad right-of-way on the south side of 290, there's no opportunity for this thoroughfare and collector to connect to 290, or we do not anticipate the ability to construct any sort of connection north of 290. So essentially this segment of the thoroughfare and collector are kind of orphaned, and they will will not be able to provide any circulation outside of the development. So that's essentially the request and the nature of the request. Currently, it connects to Jack Road and Mound Road, but again, there will be no opportunity to connect to 290. So we are requesting to have this deleted. And there was a memorandum of understanding that was executed by Harris County Commissioners Court and the Harris County Judge that they are in support of this request. And so that is essentially the request that we have that will be before Planning Commission this summer.
Okay, so is the whole segment between Jack Road and 290 being removed or omitted, or just a portion of it?
Yeah, correct. Everything between Jack and 290 will be deleted from the thoroughfare plan.
Okay. Yeah, it was hard to tell from the exhibit that was circulated before today's meeting what, if it was an addition or if it was a deletion or whatnot.
Yes, it's a deletion.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously with 290 being what it is, Mushki's got the overpass, Mason has the overpass, so there's not a whole lot you'd be able to do with Louetta as it approaches 290.
Yeah, and well, above and beyond the coordination with TxDOT that would have to take place, we would have to obtain another crossing across the railroad, and they have already expressed that they're not interested in that. So
Gotcha. Now, with my role here in Thoroughfare, I'm Director of Design and Facilities Planning. A year or two ago, we purchased about 145, 150 acres for our next educational village site.
right,
And it is bound on the north by Jack Road. And if
Right.
Louetta was to continue southward, I think it looks like it terminates at Jack Road, but that would basically be the western side of our property. So
right,
from our standpoint, yes, it would be nice to have an additional way out because we'll have internal roadways to our facilities within that site, but it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna make or break what we need to do at the site, so.
No, I mean, I think my thought process is, you guys are already going to have your frontage on Jack and Mound, and so I don't know that there would be tremendous benefit that you wouldn't already get from having driveway connections to Jack and Mound and or Mushki. So it just, I think our overall thought process and in our conversations with the county, they've expressed the same, is that this segment just doesn't really provide a whole lot of circulation beyond the immediate development. And since the thoroughfare plans are typically more about, some of the regional circulation above and beyond just what's happening in a general plan, even when the size of Dunham Point, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to have this segment remain. So.
Okay, that's all I had questions about.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. You can feel free to hang out with us, or if you want to go explore some of the other requests, by all means.
I think I'll stay in my lane. All right, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that was easy.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be most of how this goes tonight.
Okay. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
Can you guys hear me? Great, great. Have y'all had any visitation so far?
Just Commissioner Smith, and then we had Dan from Cyfair ISD, and he just had a couple of questions about the nature of the request, but pretty straightforward.
Wonderful. I apologize for my delay for getting in here, but y'all know I'm bouncing around back and forth.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. No
Okay.
worries.
And then I got stuck in the main meeting room answering some questions. So since you guys are pretty good, I'm gonna go on to another room and I'll come back and see you later, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
If anything gets crazy and you need me, just send me a note in the chat and I'll make sure I get right back to you.
Okay,
Will
well,
do.
Thank you, guys.
bye.
Bye.
Apparently room G is a little contentious, the Fairview Street and the unnamed thoroughfare. I think your friend or your colleague Adam France is the moderator of that room.
Yeah, there are going to be some questions about that
Okay.
one for
Okay.
sure.
Someone from the TGC team is the support for that room as well, and she said that there's several people who have joined their room. So we'll be interested to get the notes on that one.
Yeah, I mean that one's kind of tough too because it's the thoroughfare plan has a major thoroughfare going through essentially a MoCo regional detention facility.
That's right.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
I know these are always done at a high level, right? But
Mhm.
those are sometimes the challenges that get created
Yeah,
when
definitely.
it gets drawn on a map.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
So this is it.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
I think it has the thoroughfare plan has it coming up through here somewhere,
Okay.
and then kind of coming across. This is Robinson Road, I think, here,
Oh, okay.
and then it does like a reverse curve here across this, which is an existing pond, as you can see. They're in the
Mhm.
process of expanding it. They're going to expand this pond over here, and then it kind of heads off into the distance towards the edge of the ETJ over
Right.
here to the northeast. So, and you've got to cross this channel here.
Right.
So
Yeah. There's a lot going on.
from a construction standpoint, I mean, you're probably talking a 7 or 8 figure,
Oh,
maybe
gosh.
9-figure project. I don't know, because
Wow.
you'd essentially have to bridge. You'd have to
Oh,
bridge from here all the way to Robinson with the current alignment. So
yeah. I'll have to get innovative with that one, I guess.
yeah,
Well, thank you for explaining that to me.
sure. What division are you in, Christy?
So I'm also a transportation planner. I just haven't been in these MTFP meetings, so I'm not as
Oh, okay.
familiar with all the projects.
Okay,
I
cool.
looked at Louetta just so I would kind of know a little bit better in case I needed to talk here. But I work for Goodman, and so I'm part of the planning team there.
Cool.
Yeah. But I'm also new to. I've only been in Houston for 10 months. I'm from Dallas, and so
Okay.
So
Welcome.
yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's definitely been interesting, like learning more about this project and just like where everything is and what all the impacts are and stuff. So yeah.
are you guys gonna be editing the recordings on your end, or are you just gonna post it all unedited?
The city will actually be taking care of that, and they'll probably cut out anything that's not like our side conversation. They'll probably cut that out before they post
Okay.
it.
I was just curious because I was just like, well, I hope they don't just post, 2 hours of you and I getting to know each other a little bit.
Chit chatting, yeah, 15 rooms of just people chit chatting. No, I imagine they'll just keep the portions where people call in or people type in and ask questions. I imagine they'll just keep the relevant parts. But
So then you're not, you work for a third party consultant then? You
Yeah.
actually don't work for City of Houston?
correct. So we,
Oh, okay.
because City of Houston had 11 applications this year, they don't have the staff bandwidth to like staff all these meetings and then also do some of the more specific analysis and some of the engineering analysis. And so they have, they hired us to kind of help be their third party, kind of help with some of that stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
Jennifer brought him in. She's a professional engineer on our team, and so she's the one who's in room G with your colleague Adam, the one with the unnamed thoroughfare. And she is an engineer, so she's been providing some engineering guidance just to make sure that the engineering is sound. And then Monisha, who's also with TGC, she's she's a transportation modeler, so she's been checking the HGAC travel model and just making sure all the projections and everything are kind of in line with the applicants and things like that. So we're not providing any recommendations, just the analysis part of it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then Brian Brown, who's also with Goodman, he was previously with Precinct 2, so you may have worked with him in that respect. But he is also a planner, and so he's been kind of leading the analysis part of like the population projections and is this enough or not enough for what's projected to be here for travel movements and all of that. So he's doing some of the analysis on that, and then I'm just working on other projects. But we needed a couple of extra staff people to be the support for the rooms. So
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize Brian's name, but I don't know that we've worked together in the past. I actually started my career at the City of Houston. So
Oh, okay.
but I was on the development services side. So I did site plan review and plat review primarily.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I spent 10 years at Texas Transportation Institute. So I was kind of more in the think tank research side of transportation planning. And then I moved overseas for a while to work for a university there for do a research project on driverless buses, driverless public transport.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then I moved back to the US and then to Houston last summer. So that's why I'm new here.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Dallas or?
Yeah, born and raised, and then I went to A&M, so I didn't get too far from the tree.
Man, I swear you Aggies are everywhere. I'm not from here, so I don't really have I don't have any skin in that game, but
Where are you from?
I'm from well, kind of all over the Southeast, but I went to school out in Charlotte, North Carolina. I studied architecture and planning out there, and
Great.
then moved to Houston basically right after I graduated. And City of Houston was my first job, and I've been in consulting ever since. So
Nice. Yeah, this is my first time in the private sector, so I'm getting used to that kind of speed and that pace of work.
yeah, it's a big transition. I can certainly appreciate that.
Yeah,
I kind of have the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And my previous, the last 13 years, I've also worked at a university. So it's different than even working for a public agency, which like a city, which I've never worked for a city either. So, but university pace is just different. Like the whole atmosphere and style is different than
hmm
other jobs.
Well, it's probably, working at the city was probably pretty similar to your think tank work, I would imagine, in terms of that pacing. Although city of Houston can get pretty fast, at least on the development services side, because their plat review cycles are every 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's pretty fast paced, but not anything compared to being a consultant.
Right. Right. But I've enjoyed it so far, and there's always in planning, as you know, there's always some nuance or something that's different or new. So I've learned a
Right.
lot this year also. So that's good.
Yeah, that's always fun.
But we're definitely we're a long way from getting driverless buses in Houston or in the United States. So I'm glad that I had that project, or that experience, but it's not, maybe one day.
Do you feel like it's any closer in Europe, or are they still a ways off for some of that too?
I think so. I lived in Singapore, so I was in Asia.
Oh, okay.
And like in Singapore, driverless buses are like happening like right now. Like they have 3 bus routes that are piloting driverless buses as one bus on the route. So it's not every bus, but like 1 out of the 5 buses they have on a route is driverless. And so they're doing it. Asia is already doing it. China's already doing it. Europe, I think they're still treating autonomous vehicles or shuttles more as like a leisure or, like a special event kind of thing, which is sort of what we see here in the US. So I think Europe's a little bit further ahead just because their regulations and their public engagement and their community wants and desires are just a little bit different than most places in the US. So
Sure. Well,
they have public
you also
support.
have the density too, right?
Well, exactly. You have the density, you have people that are used to using public transport and used to like train travel for certain things. You kind of have people that are already geared towards, in quotes, emerging technology.
Right.
But and in some cities in the US it would work, but like we don't have the density in most places to make it a viable option, to change it from a full-size bus to an autonomous shuttle that's slower, can't go as long without, before it needs to charge and all of that stuff. It just doesn't really make sense in most places here. But it'd be cool if it did, or if some of these larger like master plan communities kind of adopted that as far as like a circulator sort of thing, but we'll see.
I think we'll get there. I think it's just, I think one of the biggest things is probably just going to be level of comfort with that kind of a technology, right?
Yeah, exactly. I
Um,
mean, who knows, if the price of gas keeps going up, people might be more interested. So
well, and the more, that the car companies too kind of advance that, especially like Tesla, right? And
right.
people just get used to seeing that more often or riding in cars where that's, more and more common. I think it'll be something for a lot of people to get over, but I think we'll get there, and that'll probably then just sort of domino into the mass transit area.
Yeah, that's a good point. And in Singapore, Singapore it's an island, and so there's about 6 million people that live on the island, and I don't know, it's not very small. It's like, it is very small. It's like 30 miles by 23 miles. So it's like a very small place. But like 85% of the people there are transit dependent, like they don't own vehicles.
Right.
So you have a massive captive audience. Like they move, like people 3 million trips a day on their public transit. So it's incredible. So they, people don't, what we found in our research and our surveys, and we did this massive public involvement effort, is that people there don't particularly care if there's a driver or not. They just want to get to their destination at the same time or faster and for the same cost or less. And they don't really care how that happens. And
right.
basically they were like, we have to take the bus. And so we take the bus, and it doesn't matter what kind of bus it is or what color the bus is or who's behind the wheel. we just have to get there. So so it's a little, the situation is a little bit different there too, but good place to test out technology because there's not a ton of cars. The speed limit, even on the, interstate, which is like a 4-lane, it's actually, it's an 8-lane road because they do have a high occupancy vehicle road. But the speed limits are still very slow. So it's a driverless shuttle can easily get and merge onto the highway without causing a huge issue because people are driving already kind of slow anyway. So it's not like you have a semi truck coming 90 miles an hour up the right lane or anything like that. So
yeah, I mean, it's just a completely different scale, completely different environment.
yeah, exactly. There
Yeah.
you have to worry about is there a Ferrari in the lane, or a lot of people have really luxury vehicles there. You're like, make sure you don't run into that Bentley, and so there.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, but it will be really interesting to see how it shakes out in the US, because I think it could solve a lot of the last mile kind of things, but I think that's probably above my pay grade also.
Yeah, mine too.
But we'll see. Where is your office, or is BGE based in Houston, or are y'all everywhere?
Yeah, we're kind of all over the Southeast. So we've, gone national in the past, I don't know, 5 or 10 years or so.
Okay.
Our corporate headquarters where I work is here in Houston, over in West Chase.
Okay.
So Westheimer in the Beltway, on the west side of town. And then we have a Katy office. We have a Woodlands office, 2 Austin offices,
Oh, wow.
Dallas and Frisco. We have San Antonio, and then we're in a bunch of different cities in Florida. We're in Atlanta. We're in North Carolina. And then we have a couple of satellite offices, I think, in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And so yeah, we're kind of all over the Southeast.
Got it covered.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it
Well,
more?
Florida, Atlanta, and North Carolina are the most recent additions. So
Oh, I see. Okay.
um,
Is it more planning or more engineering focus, or kind of both?
we are kind of all over the map. So
Okay.
we have planning and landscape architecture services in Houston and in Dallas, well, Frisco really, and then also in Raleigh and Charlotte. But pretty much everywhere else, our main focus is land and site civil.
Oh,
We like in Texas, we have a lot more developed in those other markets. So survey, environmental, um, transportation, public works, H&H, pretty much anything um, other than architecture, we have. So sort of runs the runs the gamut. We're kind of a one-stop shop for the most part.
it's cool though.
It is. It's kind of fun because it gets you a lot of opportunities to work with people who are experts in their field, right? So you can learn from them. Which honestly, that's been one of my favorite parts about working for a firm this big, is that I feel like it's made me a better planner, right? Because I
Yeah, that's cool.
start to think about things from different perspectives, and
Yeah.
they teach me stuff to look out for. So,
Right.
and I work a lot on the design side of things. So
Nice.
laying out master plan communities and commercial properties and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that kind of input is really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. So so one thing, like you were saying earlier on the MTFP with that Fairview Road, how it's sometimes when things get laid out, what's actually on the ground is not always taken into consideration, or like how it might work. And, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also the problem of transportation planning too, right? Like you can't study every little segment
exactly.
in the level of detail that I study it at, right?
Mhm.
Because you've got an entire, like, for Sharon's team, they have an entire, city limits and ETJ to plan for that's
Right.
almost all of Harris County, right?
Yeah.
And there's just no way that somebody could evaluate each segment of roadway, and
Right.
even at just a thoroughfare plan level, right?
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
it's just not possible. So,
Yeah. I
but
can't.
yeah, I mean, you'll run into that kind of thing. Like at one point, Louetta made a lot of sense, right?
Right. Exactly.
And then the 290 improvements and what we've been working on um, with UP has really kind of changed all of that. And so
Right. Exactly.
something may be a great idea at the time, and then at some point it doesn't make any sense anymore, and that's normal, right?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
planning. So
Right. The only thing that is going to happen is change, right?
right, yeah, I've just kind of always learned to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. I guess it's not. It's not personal. You're like whatever. It's if Louetta is here. If it's not, like we can make accommodations for whatever needs to happen. It's not about you.
Right.
So
Yeah, just
on this one, UP, there's just already that crossing on the right hand side, and then there's another one kind of on the northern side also. So there's no really need for this.
yeah, so there's actually a right of way that they own that's
Oh,
fee ownership that separates the 290 right of way from the tract. And so we actually had to coordinate all of these crossings. Took us about 2 or 3 years, I think, to even make that happen. You can see this is Mason Road here. Now
oh,
we've got it in, but basically it was this crossing that we're improving, and we haven't started in Mushki yet, but that'll be the next one over here. And there is no underpass, overpass for 290, and no opportunity for a crossing here. That wasn't um in our negotiations. So
hi Lydia, how are you?
Hello, good evening.
Hi. If you can just state your name for the record, that'd be great.
Lydia Mares, Mares.
Great, thank you. My name's Christy, and I am helping Andrew. I'm supporting Andrew, who's the planner on this project. So I'll let him go through the project, and then if you have any questions after that, feel free to unmute yourself and let us know.
Thank you.
hey, Commissioner Morris, did you have any specific questions, or you want me to just kind of run through it, or
No, go ahead and run through it. I've kind of just been popping in and out of some of the rooms, listening to y'all's presentations.
all right, sounds good. So I'm sure you've seen me at Planning Commission before, but I'm Andrew Lang. I'm a senior planner with BGE. And so I'm kind of covering, we've got 4 amendments on the docket. I'm covering Louetta Road. This is a pretty straightforward request. It's in the Dunham Point General Plan, which we have been working on for about 4 years now, maybe a little longer. It's just north of Bridgeland, south of 290, east of 99. And the request is essentially to delete all of Louetta, which is major thoroughfare for a portion and a major collector for a portion, between Jack and 290. And part of what Christy and I were just discussing is the reason for that is that there's really no opportunity to make any connections between Jack and 290. There's a Union Pacific Railroad right-of-way that separates 290 from our client's property. And as you can see, some from this aerial, the ability to connect to 290 would be pretty limited. There's no way to travel northbound from Jack along Louetta if you were to attempt to make that connection to the frontage road. So essentially that's our reason for requesting deletion. It really wouldn't add any opportunities for circulation beyond the project itself. And then we have a memorandum of understanding that was executed by Harris County Commissioners Court and the county judge. essentially staying the same. The county is in support of our request, and we've been meeting with them for probably over a year now to kind of just figure out how some of this thoroughfare planning in the development would work out. So that's essentially it. If you've got any questions, just let me know.
No, that all makes sense. What are the next major crossings or connections to 290 then, east and west of you?
So that'll be Mushki on the east side over here, and then I'll pull up the aerial for you again. So Mushki will be coming in over here, and then we've got Mason Road over here,
Okay.
and you can see we've already made that connection across the railroad there. So we're working
Okay,
on.
yeah, I missed that tail end of your last run through. So, okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
All righty.
No further questions. Y'all have a good
Thank
one.
you very much. You too.
Commissioner Mears.
Hey, guys. Has anybody joined y'all's room?
Hi, Sharon. We just had Commissioner Lydia Mars and Commissioner Lloyd, and then also Dan with Sci-Fair, but no one else.
Great, thank you. I apologize for my delay for getting back to you. I'm getting stuck in K that has a lot of questions.
Oh, it's no problem. We heard that G has a lot of questions too.
Okay, good. So you guys are doing okay. Andrew, I know you've got things under control, right?
Oh yeah, it's been quiet. We're good.
Well, you know, I've
Tell
just got-
Adam he needs to get it together.
I may pop in on Adam just to see if he's okay in there. But I think Louetta Road, that's the one that has the letter from Harris County agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are probably fine anyway, just because of your support letter from Harris County. So I'm gonna come back to you, but I think you're okay. So I'm gonna kind of really focus on the ones that are getting a lot of questions.
Yeah,
If
no,
you all get stuck and need me, just send me a little note in the chat and I'll make sure I bounce back.
yes, ma'am.
Sounds
Okay,
good,
thank-
Sharon. Thanks.
No problem, thank you.
Bye. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Okay.
Hi, if you could just state your name, for the record, that would be great.
Okay. This is Andre Diarina. You're attending this proposal here.
Great. My name's Christy and I am helping Andrew support this room. Andrew's the lead planner on this amendment. So I'll let Andrew take over. And if you have any questions after he gives the information, please let us know.
Hey, so my name's Andrew Lang. I'm a senior planner with BGE. We are the applicant for Louetta Road. So this application is on the south side of 290 east of Highway 99 in a general plan, which is a master plan community for Dunham Point. And essentially the request is to remove Louetta Road from Jack to 290. It's designated as a major thoroughfare north of Mound and a major collector between Mound and Jack. 290 at one time was contemplated to have some more connectivity at this location, but now with the 290 improvements in place, there's no opportunity to connect to Louetta northbound. And additionally, there's a Union Pacific Railroad right-of-way that separates our property from the right-of-way for US 290. So there's not really an opportunity for the major thoroughfare to connect and provide any circulation or connectivity to the north. So that's essentially the nature of our request. Harris County is in support of this. We had a memorandum of understanding that was signed and passed through Commissioner's Court, and the Harris County judge signed off on just essentially stating the same. So that's pretty much it.
Very well, that was interesting. So,
Do you have any questions for us?
not really, no. I think I got everything from the presentation you got
All right.
information. So I guess I'll be moving on to the next breakout room, but thank you for the information.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
See you guys soon.
Great job, and I will continue to bounce. Thank you.
See you, Sharon.
Hear crickets.
Hey, Sharon.
It's quiet.
It's awful quiet in here. Has it
It
been quiet
is
for a
quiet.
while? Okay. I will go to.
I'm texting with everybody else. It sounds like everything else is quieted down in our other rooms too.
Good, because I didn't get a chance to go in where Adam was. Maybe now I can if things are really quieting down all over. Maybe I'll just bounce from the room and check on people. This is great. I will go and come back. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry we didn't have any excitement for you tonight, Christy.
Hey, I'd rather have like a cool, calm, collected room than people being crazy. So I'm happy about it.
Have you been to planning commission before?
I'm not in Houston, but I have like over my time. When I was in graduate school, or no, sorry, my first year working, like in 2000, maybe it's an internship or something, but it's whenever like the Trans-Texas Highway kind of thing was going on, when Governor Perry released that map and it had that massive swath of land for that Trans-Texas corridor. And I was working at TTI and we had to, we were supporting TxDOT on the public meetings for that. And, typical public meeting, everyone gets 3 minutes to talk. There'd be like 200 people at the meeting and they would all get 3 minutes. And like the meeting minutes for those were, like those 5-inch binders, there'd be like 10 of them per meeting. Oh my God. It was such, and and you can't say anything to anyone. You just have to be poker. I wasn't on the commission, so I was just watching it all unfold, but you got to sit up there and poker face. And that's a long time to not have a reaction. And you just have to be like, okay, thanks. Next. Oh my gosh. So that was like my indoctrination into urban planning as a job. But I haven't been to any in Houston. I did go to a few in Dallas. And then a friend of mine, it works in city of Plano, and maybe your colleagues in your office there, but they have a guy that comes to the meetings every month and he like raps, and he's more of like an entertainer, I suppose. And so like anytime he comes, he sends us the link to the meeting and we all like tune in so we can watch it.
No way. That's funny.
Yeah, you should ask your people in your Dallas or your Frisco office and see if they know the city of Plano rapper.
That's crazy. Yeah, we have some regulars, or we used to have a lot more regulars, honestly, before COVID. Now that I'm thinking about it, most of the time, everybody who's there now are, more on the consultant side of things. But there used to be more, you kind of like you were saying, like not necessarily, we didn't have any like rappers or anything like that. Not anything that exciting, but more like super neighborhood engagement, or civic club people, especially in the Heights. They're pretty engaged.
Yeah.
But that's kind of fallen off a little bit.
Oh,
I've
interesting.
noticed. But yeah, I mean, it depends on what the items are on the agenda, but we
Right.
can turn out a couple hundred people every now and then.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I only want a couple of hundred people if they support what I'm doing. Otherwise, I don't want that many people.
Yeah, that's not usually how that goes. So.
Right. Yeah, that's what I assumed. But yeah, I don't. None of my projects that I work on right now are what I would consider to be controversial, but I have been proven wrong before, so we'll see.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
Comes with
but
the
I
territory.
work mainly with like TERS and management districts, so I don't have any. We don't work for the city anything that we would need to be like presenting to the commission. So I just have to go before TERS and management district boards, but that's all right so far.
Y'all don't really have any private clients that you work with?
We do, I just don't have, we don't like right now, but I think that we are able to, we just don't really.
Right.
We typically stick with the other kind of like management entities. Yeah, and right now we don't, I can't even think of a private client that we have at all right now. But I think we have in the past, but not the last year.
Yeah, we kind of get it's weird. We'll have years where we won't do any thoroughfare plan amendments like this, and then like I did 2 in 2019, and then nothing for 20 or 21, and then now we have 4 this
Oh.
year. So it just kind of depends. They sort of they sort of come in waves.
Yeah, I guess that, I mean, keeps it on your toe, keeps you on your toes, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, now some of our projects that are through, like I'm working on one project with TERS 8 in, like near the hobby area. And one of our projects, it will have to go before the city whenever the TERS is ready to actually, once they're ready to move forward on it. So maybe we'll have to go, I'm not sure if we would do it or if the TERS would go to the planning commission. I'm sure we would be there, but that's to be determined at this point for that project.
Well, it also could be a city-led amendment as well, because
That's true.
I don't think they have any this year that I remember.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I think it was last year they had like 100 amendments or something like that. They redefined a lot of the redefined, reclassified, and made some adjustments to everything in downtown and midtown. And so they kind of took those as like two different amendments, but within that, you had like 20 something streets
Okay.
or
Yeah, that's a lot.
40 something streets. I can't remember, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
Poor Peter, I think, tackled that one.
I know. And Peter's so kind too. You're just like, you really don't deserve this.
He did a good job. He did a really good job.
Oh, he's great. The
But
last
yeah, he's awesome.
Peter's so funny lately. I think the last time Peter and I have worked together, like the last 3 times we've seen each other, I've been presenting and Peter's like, oh, can you just throw in a couple of slides? And he was like, okay, next time you can join my presentation and get involved here. It's just been really funny how every time we see each other, he's like, I'm sorry, I'm like piggybacking on everything. I'm like, no, please, more people. We love it. And yeah, it's been fun, like getting to know him and get to work with him on some of our stuff. So yeah, so we'll see. I guess let's see what happens in the next 15 minutes.
It sounded pretty quiet over here. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody is coming in to any of ours.
Yeah, there's 4 TGC people working in there. We have like another chat going, and everyone's saying that they haven't had anybody in the last 10 minutes or so. So, it says things are still going strong in the West Airport meeting. I don't know what letter that is.
West Airport.
Oh, that's F. Rodrigo with Studio Red Architects.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like those guys. They're good. I met Micah Simachek, who's one of their principals, when I worked at the permitting center. And yeah, they get kind of brave sometimes and step out into the planning world a little bit. I was surprised they were doing that, but more power to them.
Yeah, definitely more power to him, especially if you've got a lot of comments in your amendment room.
What are they doing with that one though? Delete West Airport. Oh, that's why.
Oh, that's a
They
deletion.
want a deletion. Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know about that That's brave.
Oh.
Yeah, this is what they've got.
Oh, wow.
That's
a pretty big-
That's a long segment to delete.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And it also looks like got some existing right of way and thoroughfare already constructed.
Oh, oops.
This is where I can kind of see where you might be.
Yeah, because it's gonna cut through that.
Also,
park.
your geometry is not going to work in here at all
Oh, okay.
from a design perspective.
There
That's
you
not going to meet the IDM at all or chapter 42.
go. There you go.
But
That's just one guy's opinion.
yeah, what do I know?
What do you know? Well,
Not much.
look at that. Our team was on, and the other road was Pinafore. Let me see which number that was. We had someone in Fulton and San Jacinto Street. And we had someone in West Airport. Ours. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, and in Fairview. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, San Jacinto, that makes sense. You got a railroad crossing there. It's kind of tough even for a major thoroughfare sometimes.
Yeah. Is it the same railroad that impacts Louetta? Is it that same line or a different one?
I don't think so, because this is this by Hardy Yards? It looks like it.
Oh, yeah, that's the one you're looking at. Yeah, it's by Hardy Yards. The Fulton Street one.
Yeah. Although I don't know, does that spur go all the way west?
I think it might be the same line.
It might.
I'm looking at on Google right now. It looks like it could be, but I don't know. Do you pretty much have to deal with the railroad on every single project you work on?
No, that's actually kind of unique to have to deal with them. Yeah, it is. How about that? That
Interesting.
is the UP line. It goes all the way in there.
Oh, wow.
Unless it stops there. But yeah, no, that's pretty atypical for us, you know. I mean, it happens sometimes, but
Yeah.
there just aren't that many lines out there. More often it's pipelines, right? That's the
Right.
pipelines and wells.
Yeah, we have a project kind of like near Baytown, a community plan project that we're doing out there. And the map of pipelines, it just, I mean, we had to like remove pipelines off the map so it wasn't so cluttered, like there were so many pipelines going across it. We're like, we can't even put the street names on here because there's too many things on this map. And it was just really baffling to me to see all of that.
Where are y'all working in? What part of Baytown?
It's actually in Baytown's ETJ. It's in a community called McNair and Linos. So it's like they straddle I-10, kind of by Mason Road. Not Mason Road. I'm thinking of our street. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, y'all, just me checking in. You're looking good, though. I'm going to another room.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So it's like where I-10 and 330, spur 330 kind of split off into that Y, like right above the bay.
Oh yeah, okay, I see.
So it's an unincorporated Harris County, but within Baytown's ETJ. So it's, you know, a lot of layers of people, a bureaucracy, I guess.
Yeah, we had a project just northeast of there,
Oh, okay.
over on Wallaceville and Garth Road.
Oh, yeah. That Springfield, like that planned developments over there.
Yeah, there's it's about 500 acres or so.
Yeah.
Like Wallaceville, Garth, and Hardy.
Mhm.
And then it gets split by the two canals there
Oh, right.
in the center point easement.
Uh-huh.
So
What's that development? It's San Jacinto Townhomes or something, right?
no, it's Baytown Crossings.
Oh,
It's,
Baytown Crossing. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Ashbel Cove, Sterling Point, Worcester
Uh,
Crossing, and Burnett Fields are
oh,
the
right.
four
Okay.
different communities.
Cool.
Yeah, it's bit of an interesting one because it's so split up like that. So it's like it's one community, but it's also four communities, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah,
It's
like
almost
four
like four different
little-
projects.
That's interesting. And is that in the cities?
It's in the ETJ.
It's in the ETJ. Okay.
Yeah.
Always a good time out there in the ETJ.
That's where I do my best work.
Till next time I'm out there, I'll have to drive through more closely.
Yeah, go poke around, see how it's going.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there yet.
Our project we're done with the engagement stuff. We're just doing the reporting now, and I think it's going to go to commission in August. So to county commissioner's court.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So wrapping that up. But it's just ours is a community plan, so it's not actually, they have to decide which pieces they want to implement on their own. That's not our purview for this one.
Right.
The biggest thing that they're having right now is the McNair community. They don't have any fire or EMS service.
Whoa, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's like a huge issue. And so Highlands, which is the community kind of like to the west and slightly north of them, that ESD has been providing service to McNair for free for the last 2 or 3 years, which obviously is all kinds of like fiduciary issues with their taxpayers and all of that. And so they've now, I think maybe a month ago, sent a letter to all the residents in McNair, like alerting them that December 31st is the last day of service. And so like make other arrangements. And yeah, and obviously the county is aware of all of it and like they're trying to help them and stuff. But so that's the biggest issue with McNair. But Linos, which is the community just south of I-10, it doesn't even show up on the map, but they are in an ESD. And so like they're covered, but McNair's not. And in the past, McNair has this like legacy volunteer fire department that has been defunct for a few years. But people in the community are like, no, we're going to resurrect the fire department and all this stuff. But like, Andrew, when you drive by their, quote, fire station, the roof is completely caved in with the fire truck, like it's a brush truck more so inside of the building. So like the roof is caved in on this truck. It hasn't been started in, 15 years probably, or 10 years or something like that. So it's pretty much out of commission. And the fire marshal is like, okay, cool. You guys want to start your volunteer fire department back up? That's great. We're all into it. It's going to be like $3 million. So just let us know. And they're like,
So you can just cut us a check. Let us know how you're going to pay for that.
Yeah, like we'd be super happy to like help with training and all these things, but like you have to have equipment and people and all that, and it's going to cost you like $3 million to get started. And they don't have a management district or anything in that area, so they don't really even have a way to generate money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously, like, hey, Brandon,
Hey, I just tapping in, see what's going on, just getting the feel of the room. I know we got a couple minutes left here.
Yeah, we're just chit chatting. We've had 3 visitors, or
Nice.
4 visitors, and
Okay.
no controversy, no real questions about anything. Just wanted to explanation of the project.
Nice and smooth. I'll take it. Hey, we appreciate you guys' help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks for y'all's help.
Yes.
So we're, so the fire marshal, everyone knows about it. And so we can't really, we're not recommending what they do. We're just saying like, oh, here's a few options of ways you can generate money, like join an ESD, create a management district or whatever. But yeah, it's been kind of they've had a couple of, last summer, 2 people died because fire and or EMS couldn't get there in time. One person like died in a car fire, another person died, like had a heart attack, called 911 and the ambulance took a really long time to get there because there just isn't any ambulance service in that area. That, Baytown is, or Highlands is servicing it, but they're also quite far from McNair. And if they have other calls, like they kind of have to prioritize a certain way, which is terrible because like, as a human, you feel like obligated to do certain things, but
Right.
they can't always be everywhere if there's not enough people on staff. And something like the volunteer department, and they're a volunteer fire department that has a few paid staff as well. So they're kind of, it's not a full-fledged City of Houston fire department or anything. And they told us that something like 18 to 20% of the calls come from this McNair area. So they're like, we're sending like a ton of resources over there. Like they need something for this community. So hopefully the community can, get a decision made on how they want to proceed. And I think the county is going to kind of help them along and make sure they get on the election ballot, because creating an ESD and creating a management district, like you have to have an election for all of that. And like there's
Right.
certain cycles that all of that has to get done in. And so like, to be on the November ballot for this year, you pretty much need to start getting all your ballot stuff organized like right now. And so hopefully they'll, be able to have a champion that can move that forward for them.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a mud, right? You can't just make one. You got you have to
Yeah.
take some official steps to get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this thing doesn't look too bad from the street, but the street view is like 2 years old, so
yeah. I mean,
I think I found it.
Yeah, it looks worse. No.
It looks worse now. Good.
Well, it's just, the building has just sat there for longer and, more storms have happened and more things have happened and it hasn't been maintained and stuff. And, it's really unfortunate and hopefully they can, come together. But yeah, you're going to be taxing people. So like you have to have an election. So the other thing is that like people could vote it down also, which then puts you in like a really weird spot again. So so I don't know. Hopefully they can get it all done. Let's see. Well, it's 7:30, so I think we can officially sign off.
We can call it, huh?
I think so. That's what everyone else in our other chat is saying. Have you heard from any of your team?
Yeah, it sounds like everybody's packing up over here.
All right, cool. Well, it's nice chatting with you. Maybe we'll see each other sometime at something.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, have a good night.
Nice to have somebody to chat with and not just sit in silence.
Yeah, you too. All right, have a good night.
All right, take care, Christy. Thanks.